All right, y'all. First and foremost, want to give all praises. Wait a minute, let me cut this thing down. First and foremost, want to give all praise to Yahweh Shem Shabbat Thumb, and give a salute and greeting to all the brothers and sisters scattered across the four corners, teaching His word with sincerity and charity. Just want to do a quick lesson today, man. Quick correction. You know what I'm saying on the brother brother Naquam. Sharp brother, you know what I'm saying? Sharp brother, man. You know, definitely one of the leaders, one of the forefronts, definitely, you know, forefront for that next gen. You know, as some of our elders are fading, you know, out of the you know, the street work, and you know, building up this next gen, building up this wilderness generation. He's definitely leading the way, but we got some things that are a little problematic. All right, just really one thing. When we was watching this discourse, and we're gonna watch this video, man, and we had this brother, the Camp Killa, was on our channel a couple times, also, and we had some dialogue. Brother Eleazar went, did a couple of videos on Bring It Out TV, refuting some of the things that were, you know, spoken of when the first encounter, and then he did a counter video to, you know what I'm saying, you know, bring out some of these details, some of these things that were looked over, some of these things that were just spoken real fast, and then we really couldn't get a grasp on it. But once we sat down with it, and he broke that thing down, man, he got 2 parts to that thing, so y'all go check that out. But let's deal with this video. All right, so that Camp Killa dude is in person. I'm not gonna say dude. All right, this Camp Killa brother was in person, and pulled up on the camp. I don't know how the situation ended up coming about, or how he knew they were there and so forth, but it is a spirit on the brother, you know, to have the name Camp Killa, and to have this mission of making sure I prove these people wrong. And it's nothing wrong with correction. I do a lot of correction, a lot of apologetics, but I'm not here just to show that you're wrong, okay? I don't just teach that, oh, let me show you. When it's Wednesday's class, I'm doing that class about, let me show these people wrong and I'm right, or let me show that these people don't know what they talking about and they shouldn't have no Bible. And, you know, and start coming in with, you know, with that being your main goal, instead of, you know, ultimately our goal being, you know what I'm saying, to magnify Yahweh, magnify the Most High through Yahweh, and through the Spirit, and operating in the Spirit, and being a light unto the world. But it's nothing wrong with, you know, the iron sharpening iron, and having this discourse. And I know y'all tired of me talking, so let's go ahead and play.
So what's the power of God? Jeremiah 3:23. Bring it up. Truly in vain is salvation hope for. Truly in vain is salvation hope for.
I was reading Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse 23. Surely in vain is salvation hope for.
Jeremiah alive. Dude, is Jeremiah alive?
What are you trying to say?
Is Jeremiah alive?
Can I answer?
Yes or no?
Are you trying to say that verse says that the nations are in vain? Because you're
Got a lot of Mitris out there. All praises for the support, brothers.
going to cut yourself.
No, you
That's
didn't even let us finish the verse.
Israel hoping for the hills is in vain. Israel hoping for the hills.
23.
Read it.
Truly in vain is salvation hope for
the hills.
the hills.
Not Israel.
Hold on.
Israelites hoping for the nations is in vain. Read it. Read it.
I think, but see, you know, when I seen Naquan's face, then it's like he trying to register. He's like, see that right there? He looking like, hey man, you know, I don't know about that, but you know, but that cognitive dissonance is kicking in too. You know, that precept package kicked back in, and he spit it out.
For hills is not Israel.
Hold on.
Israelites hoping for the nations is in vain. Read it. Read it.
He said, and I don't know what I don't know what he just said. I don't know. I think that was kind of off too.
Israel,
Jeremiah 23.
Read it.
Truly in vain is salvation hope for
Israel.
from him.
Israel.
Hold on.
Israelites hoping for the nations is in vain. Read it. Read it.
Israel hoping for the nation. So womp womp womp. Yeah, he got that wrong also, but his does make better sense. Okay, his does make better sense, and we're gonna get into that to show why. Let's listen to it one more time. I thought he said something. I thought you was on it, Camp Killa, but you dropped the ball also. But we're gonna get the understanding today.
Cut yourself.
No, you
That
didn't even let us finish the verse.
Israel hoping for the hills is in
Jeremiah,
vain. Israel hoping for
Jeremiah
the hills.
23.
Read it.
Truly in vain is salvation hope for
Hills
from
is not
him.
Israel.
Hold on.
Israelites hoping for the nations is in vain. Read it. Read
Try to hear
it.
this man's breakdown.
Israel hoping for the nations is see. I'm gonna show you why I thought he said it. Right? I thought he had it at first.
Because you're gonna cut yourself.
No, you
That
didn't even let us
thing,
finish the verse.
Israel hoping for the hills is in
Jeremiah,
vain.
Israel hoping for the hills. So I was like, okay, well maybe he has it. Maybe he has the understanding. Okay, I'll pray.
Israel hoping for
Jeremiah
the hills.
23.
Read it.
Truly in vain is salvation
I shook that thing. I'm sorry, y'all.
hope for
Hills
from
is not
him.
Israel.
Hold on.
Israelites hoping for the nations is in vain. Read it.
Your brother in the background, like they really, if they had it right, this would have been like the perfect little meme or whatever.
Try to
But
hear this man's breakdown.
I heard.
Absolute man, man.
It says truly in vain is salvation.
Listen, calm down.
calm down.
Calm down.
Absolutely, man. Calm
Truly in
down.
vain is salvation hope
And
for.
we're going to break it down.
Yeah.
God said through Jeremiah
Yeah.
that it is a vain thing for the other nations to think that they're going to
That's a
receive
lie.
salvation.
That's a
The
lie.
other nations are the
That's a
hills.
lie.
The
That's
other
a lie.
nations are the mountains.
Nope.
Truly in vain
Hold on.
is salvation hope for from the hills
Keep reading.
and from the multitude of
Keep
mountains.
reading.
Right?
Truly in the Lord our God.
Truly what?
Truly in the Lord our God.
Jeremiah's an Israelite,
Yep.
right? A Levite.
Yep.
He said, truly in the Lord our God
Is the salvation
That doesn't
of
mean what you're
Israel.
is the what?
Is the salvation of
Is
Israel.
the what?
Is the salvation of Israel.
Break it down.
I'm breaking it down. He's saying Israel shouldn't hope for the hills. He should hope for God. That's what it's saying.
Oh, you have no idea what's going on.
That's what it says.
You have no idea. So hold on. You're saying that verse is saying Israel should what? Say it again?
Shouldn't hope for the hills. Hope for God.
No, you're absolutely. That's the worst breakdown of all time.
Read it.
It's saying what it said. It is a vain, worthless thing for the so-called white man to think he's going to get salvation. For the so-called he's going to get salvation. But
Oh, I'm sorry, y'all.
it's Indian man to think he's going to get salvation.
Okay. All right. All right. It's a vain thing. So let's look at. Let me see if I can share my screen real quick. And yeah, man, they both got it wrong actually. Which is unfortunate. Man, I thought he had one, but nope, you don't. So this, I'm gonna name this Camp Killa and the Quan wrong. Oh man, but all praise, we can get a good breakdown here today. We can get a breakdown of it here today. We're gonna go to Jeremiah 3. And we're gonna pull it. Oh man, why I look like that? We're gonna pull this verse here. We're gonna go down. Well, we're gonna start at 20, y'all. We're gonna start at 20. It says, surely as a wife treacherously departed from her husband, so shalt ye, so have ye dealt treacherously with me, O house of Israel, saith Yahweh. And a voice was heard upon the high places. A voice was heard upon the high places, weeping and supplications of the children of Israel. For they have perverted their way, and they have forgotten their Lord, the Lord their God. Return ye backsliding children, and I will heal your backslidings. Behold, we come unto thee, for thou art the Lord our God. Truly in vain is salvation hoped for from the hills and from the multitude of mountains. Truly in vain is salvation hoped for from the hills and the mountains. So we see a salvation being hoped for from the hills and the mountains. So if we take the methodology, if we take the ideology that the hills and the mountains are the nations, then Camp Killa is right. Camp Killa information is the correct. His breakdown was the saying that Israel is wrong for hoping for salvation from the other nations. All right, for looking for salvation from the other nations. Naquam, his breakdown is it's vain to think that the hills in the mountains can receive salvation. All right, but the hills in the mountains are the place from which salvation is hoped for. Let's read it one more time. Truly in vain is salvation hoped for from the hills and from the multitude of mountains. Truly is salvation hoped for. Truly in vain, all right, is salvation hoped for from, not to the hills and the mountains, but from the hills and the mountains are these people trying to, in vain, trying to receive salvation. And who are these people? It's Israel. Because truly in the Lord our God is the salvation of Israel. And really, well, let's read the next two verses. For shame have devoured the labor of our fathers from our youth. All right, their flocks and their herds, their sons and their daughters, we lie down in our shame, and our confusion covereth us. For we have sinned against the Lord our God, we and our fathers from our youth even unto this day, and have not obeyed the voice of the Lord our God. All right, so really, you should be comparing truly in vain. Truly in the Lord. Truly in the Lord our God is the salvation of Israel. So if you're not looking at the Lord for your salvation, where do Israel usually go look for salvation? When the Lord don't answer, where do usually Israel go? It's to other gods, people. It's to other gods. The hills and the mountains are other gods. Matter of fact, let me just do this. I know my KJV only ain't gonna like it, but it's just gonna give us a clue, and then we're gonna build upon that. Let's look at it in NLT. Why I keep doing that? Let's look at it in the NLT. Watch this. All right, 23. Truly in vain. Oh, we didn't get the NLT. We didn't get the NLT version. All right, let's try it again. Oh, they ain't gonna give us no NLT. They bucking on us now. I guess we ain't gonna get that. Let me see. Nope. It's blacked out. I don't know. Let's hit the NIV. Let us listen. Nope. I don't know, man. I might have to donate to these folk, man. These folk mad. Let's look at it. Let me see if I can go here. I'm sorry, y'all. And I may be just pushing something wrong, but I don't know. Bible Gate. New Living. Our worship, this is Jeremiah 3:23. Our worship of idols on the hills and our religious orgies on the mountains are delusion. Only in the Lord our God will Israel ever find salvation. And when I break this thing down to y'all, man, y'all gonna be like, man, yeah, man, we tripping, man. That thing all over the place. Hold on, let me go back. That thing is all over the place. Let's go get a couple precepts. Where we want to go? Psalm 72:3. Psalm 72:3. The mountains shall bring peace to the people, and the little hills by righteousness. All right, by righteousness. I know that was a little light. All right. All right, but the mountains shall bring peace to the people, and the little hills by righteousness. That was a little light. I don't know if I like that one too much. But, let's look at Micah 4. For one, like I said, I had a whole list of y'all been in my classes, man, for a minute. And I've been trying to get to this thing about these mountains being these other gods. Watch this. But in the last days it shall come to pass. Let me get the whole verse. Let me get the whole chapter. Just in case there's some meat on that we ain't see. All right, but in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow into it. Okay, that the mountain of the house of the Lord shall be established in the top of the mountains. Okay, above all the other mountains, this thing will be established, the house of the Lord. Verse 2, and many nations shall come and say, come, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, and to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the law shall go forth from Zion, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem, and he shall judge among the people. That's all we want. All right, but in the last days, that mountain of the house of the Lord, we gonna always go. How many times did Christ go up to the mountain to go pray? How many people went up to worship on the mountaintop? Huh? Where did Moses have to go to receive the Ten Commandments? What about Balak and Balaam with the donkey and the who that king was? I want to say the king was Balak, but he kept telling them to go up to a higher mountain. He took them up to a higher mountaintop so he could worship. What about Satan in the wilderness, taking them upon them different mountaintops? Let's go to another precept here. We gonna see it here. For y'all know this one, but sometimes that it says our father, John chapter 4 and verse 20. Says our fathers worshipped in this mountain. This is about the Samaritan, Yahushua and the Samaritan woman, Jesus and the Samaritan woman. Our fathers worshipped in this mountain, and ye say that the place that in Jerusalem is the place where men ought to worship. All right, our fathers worshipped in this mountain. Okay, so she's telling him, man, we was worshiping over here. We was worshiping on this mount, but you telling us we're supposed to be worshiping over here. What do they call the Temple Mount? And what they call it? Yahushua said unto her, 21, woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain, nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father. What are we doing on the mountaintop? We are worshiping. All right, and if we're not on that particular mountaintop, if we're on another mountaintop and we're on another hill, if we're in a grove, mountaintops, hills, groves, altars, this place for building altars, because they felt, the people back then felt the highest you can get, the closer you can get to God, and that's where you need to be worshiping. All right. Let me pull out a few more. All right, y'all, just a few more precepts here. It says, then ye shall drive out all the inhabitants of the land. All right, Numbers 33:52. Then ye shall drive out all the inhabitants of the land from before you, and destroy all their pictures, and destroy all their molten images, and quite pluck down all their high places. Leviticus 26:30. And I will destroy your high places, and cut down your images, and cast your carcasses upon the carcasses of your idols, and my soul shall abhor you. Destroy them high places. 2 Kings 16:4. And he sanctified and burnt incense in the high places and on the hills, right? And under every green tree. All right, and under every green tree. Isaiah, Christmas coming along, y'all be talking about that evergreen tree and how wicked it is. But every green tree, there's probably multiple trees, the palm tree too, they probably worshipped under that also. It has other significance other than, us grabbing the palms. I'm sure other people grabbed them for other reasons also. Isaiah 16, 12. And it shall come to pass when it is seen that Moab is weary on the high place, that he shall come to his sanctuary to pray, but he shall not prevail. All right. He's going to go to the high place on his sanctuary to pray, but he shall not, he shall not prevail. Let me give y'all one more, yeah. Like I said, I had a whole list of these things. But really it's not a class, because really it's really just defining high places and mountains, but there are a plethora of precepts on these things. All right. Verse 6, Ezekiel 6:6, in all your dwelling places, the city shall be laid waste, and the high places shall be desolate, that your altars may be laid waste and made desolate, and your idols may be broken and cease, and your images may be cut down, and your works may be abolished. Okay, the dwelling places, in all your dwelling places, the city shall be laid waste, and the high places shall be desolate. Why? All your altars, all your idols. Okay, your altar shall be desolate, your images shall be broken. I will cast down your slain men before your idols. Again, here. Son of man, set thy face toward the mountains of Israel, and prophesy against them. Prophesy against these mountains, against these other gods that these darn idiots are worshiping. And say, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of Yahweh. Thus saith the Lord God, to the mountains and to the hills, to the rivers, and to the valleys, behold, I will bring a sword upon you, and I will destroy your high places. Isaiah 2. Let's start at verse 1. It says the word that Isaiah, the son of Amos, saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem. And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. Did I read this already? And many people shall go and say, come and let us go unto the mountain. That's just the same precept. Upon the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For the Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. Do I got any more? I think I got one or two more. Micah 1 and 4, but it may be close. I think I read this already. Nah, that's not a good one. And the mountain shall be molten under him, and the valley shall be cliff as wax before the fire. For the transgression of Jacob and the house of... Nah, I don't like that one. Wait a minute. For the transgression of Jacob is all this, and for all the sins of the house of Israel. What is the transgression of Jacob? Is it not Samaria? And what are the high places of Judah? Are they not Jerusalem? All right, so we see in the high places of Judah being Jerusalem. What is the high places of these other nations? All right, these are places that they worship their other gods. It's a story with this Moabite king where Israel is conquering, beating up this Moabite king. I think it's in Numbers. And he ends up sacrificing his son. He ends up getting up on top of this wall and sacrificing his son. But let's continue reading here, because I see some graven images coming up. Therefore, I will make Samaria as a heap of field and the plantings of the vineyard. All right, the vineyard too is places where they did idols. Not saying that's the context here. And I will pour down the stones thereof into the valley, and I will discover the foundation thereof, and all the graven images thereof shall be beaten to pieces, and all the hires thereof shall be burned with the fire, and all idols therefore will lay desolate, for she gathereth it for of the hire of an harlot, and they shall return to the hire of an harlot. But again, the mountains, the high places, that was a little weak precept, but the mountains and high places are dealing with the other gods, and where we went to worship, where we went to serve these gods and worship these other deities. They was usually on the high places and the mountaintops. Not saying that every time you see mountain and every time you see high place that is talking about idols, but most of the times it is. You know what I'm saying? Most of the times it is. And if that dialogue would have kept going, let me stop sharing my screen. If the dialogue would have kept going, maybe they could have got to that point, or if they were sitting down, maybe they could have got to the point of proving and defining mountains with the text. Not just saying that the mountains are the other nations, but just breaking that completely down and showing that the mountains, are places of worship. You know what I'm saying? The mountains and the high places and the vineyards and the groves, are considered a lot of times as places of worship, whether and especially of these other idols, because usually the Most High is being worshipped on this mountain, Mount Sinai, Mount Sinai, Mount Horeb. You have all these different mountains that usually are dealing with worship. Even Yahushua, I say, how many times Yahushua left and went up, went up there and prayed, man. What was that on Mount Gethsemane? So you always pray in these high places. So in vain, let's go back, Shalakia, y'all. Let's go back and look at this, and then we'll close out. Man, we had 23 minutes. Wow. Share screen. Let's just go back and we look at it again, understanding that these are places of worship. And it said, truly in vain is salvation hoped for from the hills and from the multitude of mountains. All right, all the different mountains, all these different idols. All right, all these different places you want to worship. And you see how the NLT talked about, because the orgies were a major part of the worship. All right, the orgies and the wine. We was talking about Dionysus and Dionysus or Botry or whatever, Botry or something like that. This Greek god that they worshipped of wine and of orgies. You know what I'm saying? And man, listen, man, a lot of jokers will be gone. A lot of jokers will be gone dealing with them orgies, man. If these deities were bringing back those orgies, man, it's gonna get there, because we already been, our women and men being hypersexualized, man, and that's the only way they're gonna be able to get off. You know what I'm saying? Is being in these orgies. You see, the fornication within Israel. They will be gone. They will be gone, man. If you had these folks talking about, man, these folks, you worship this God on the mountaintop, man, looking over the ocean, having an orgy. A lot of these jokers only into this thing now because they talking about multiple wives. A lot of jokers only in for that thing, man. Hey, man, we gonna get the kingdom and we gonna get multiple. We gonna have 7 women. I got to get into that also. But, man, I hope this thing was edifying to the Bible. Let me finish that. Truly in vain is salvation hoped for from the hills and the mountains, and the multitude of mountains. truly in the Lord. It's not going to come from nowhere else. See, the only way you going up on those hills trying to receive salvation is from another God. Okay? Is you being a harlot. Is you being a whore. Going up upon those mountains and serving these other deities. He says, truly in the Lord, our God is salvation, is the salvation of Israel. Amen. Y'all be blessed. Shalom. Hope this thing was edifying to the body.